1 Chronicles chapter 9. So all Israel was enrolled by genealogies, and these are written in the book of the kings of Israel. And Judah was taken into exile in Babylon because of their unfaithfulness. Now the first to live again in their possessions in their towns were Israelites, priests, Levites, and temple servants. And some of the people of Judah, Benjamin, Ephraim, and Manasseh lived in Jerusalem. Uthai, son of Ammihud, son of Omri, son of Imri, son of Bani, from the sons of Perez, son of Judah. And of the Shilonites, Azahai, the firstborn, and his sons. Of the sons of Zerah, Jeuel, and their kin, 690. Of the Benjaminites, Salu, son of Meshullam, son of Hodaviah, son of Hasenuah, Ebaniah, son of Jeroham, Ella, son of Uzi, son of Mikri, and Meshullam, son of Shephatiah, son of Reuel, son of Ibnijah, and their kindred according to their generations, 956. All these were heads of families according to their ancestral houses. Of the priests, Jedaiah, Jehoiarib, Jachin, and Azariah, son of Hilkiah, son of Meshullam, son of Zadok, son of Meraioth, son of Ahitub, the chief officer of the house of God, and Adiah, son of Jeroham, son of Pashur, son of Malchijah, and Masai, son of Adiel, son of Jozerah, son of Meshullam, son of Meshillemith, son of Immer, besides their kindred, heads of their ancestral houses, 1,760, qualified for the work of the service of the house of God. Of the Levites, Shemaiah, son of Hashub, son of Azrikam, son of Hashabiah, of the sons of Merari, and Bakbakar, Haresh, Galal, and Mattaniah, son of Micah, son of Zikri, son of Asaph, and Obadiah, son of Shemaiah, son of Galal, son of Jeduthun, and Berechiah, son of Asa, son of Elkanah, who lived in the villages of the Netophathites. The gatekeepers were Shallum, Akub, Talmon, Ahiman, and their kindred Shallum was the chief, stationed previously in the king's gate on the east side. These were the gatekeepers of the camp of the Levites. Shallum, son of Kor, son of Ebasith, son of Korah, and his kindred of his ancestral house. The Korahites were in charge of the work of the service, guardians of the thresholds of the tent, as their ancestors had been in charge of the camp of the Lord, guardians of the entrance. And Phinehas, son of Eleazar, was chief over them in former times. The Lord was with him. Zechariah, son of Meshelemiah, was gatekeeper at the entrance of the tent of meeting. All these, who were chosen as gatekeepers at the thresholds, were 212. They were enrolled by genealogies in their villages. David and the seer Samuel established them in their office of trust. So they and their descendants were in charge of the gates of the house of the Lord, that is, the house of the tent, as guards. The gatekeepers were on the 4 sides, east, west, north, and south, and their kindred who were in their villages were obliged to come in every 7 days, in turn, to be with them. For the 4 chief gatekeepers, who were Levites, were in charge of the chambers and the treasures of the house of God, and they would spend the night near the house of God, for on them lay the duty of watching, and they had charge of opening it every morning. Some of them had charge of the utensils of service, for they were required to count them when they were brought in and taken out. Others of them were appointed over the furniture, and over all the holy utensils, also over the choice flour, the wine, the oil, the incense, and the spices. Others of the sons of the priests prepared the mixing of the spices. And Mattathiah, one of the Levites, the firstborn of Shallum the Korahite, was in charge of making the flat cakes. Also, some of their kindred of the Kohathites had charge of the rows of bread, to prepare them for each Sabbath. Now these are the singers, the heads of the ancestral houses of the Levites, living in the chambers of the temple free from other service, for they were on duty day and night. These were heads of ancestral houses of the Levites, according to their generations. These leaders lived in Jerusalem. In Gibeon lived the father of Gibeon, Jael, and the name of his wife was Maacah. His firstborn son was Abdon, then Zur, Kish, Baal, Ner, Nadab, Geder, Ahio, Zechariah, and Mikloth. And Mikloth became the father of Shemim, and these also lived opposite their kindred in Jerusalem with their kindred. Ner became the father of Kish, Kish of Saul, Saul of Jonathan, Malchishua, Abinadab, and Eshbaal. And the son of Jonathan was Merib-Baal, and Merib-Baal became the father of Micah. The sons of Micah, Pithon, Melech, Tariah, and Ahaz. And Ahaz became the father of Jarah, and Jarah of Alameth, Asmaveth, and Zimri. And Zimri became the father of Moza. Moza became the father of Beniah, and Rephaiah was his son, Eleasah his son, Azel his son. Azel had 6 sons, and these are their names: Azrikam, Bokeru, Ishmael, Sheariah, Obadiah, and Hanan. These were the sons of Azel. 1 Chronicles chapter 10. Now the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled before the Philistines, and fell slain on Mount Gilboa. The Philistines overtook Saul and his sons, and the Philistines killed Jonathan and Abinadab and Malchishua, sons of Saul. The battle pressed hard on Saul, and the archers found him, and he was wounded by the archers. Then Saul said to his armor-bearer, "Draw your sword, and thrust me through with it, so that these uncircumcised may not come and make sport of me." But his armor-bearer was unwilling, for he was terrified. So Saul took his own sword and fell on it. When his armor-bearer saw that Saul was dead, he also fell on his sword and died. Thus Saul died, he and his 3 sons, and all his house died together. When all the men of Israel who were in the valley saw that the army had fled, and that Saul and his sons were dead, they abandoned their towns and fled, and the Philistines came and occupied them. The next day, when the Philistines came to strip the dead, they found Saul and his sons fallen on Mount Gilboa. They stripped him and took his head and his armor, and sent messengers throughout the land of the Philistines to carry the good news to their idols and to the people. They put his armor in the temple of their gods, and fastened his head in the temple of Dagon. But when all Jabesh-Gilead heard everything that the Philistines had done to Saul, all the valiant warriors got up and took away the body of Saul and the bodies of his sons, and brought them to Jabesh. Then they buried their bones under the oak in Jabesh, and fasted 7 days. So Saul died for his unfaithfulness. He was unfaithful to the Lord, in that he did not keep the command of the Lord. Moreover, he had consulted a medium, seeking guidance, and did not seek guidance from the Lord. Therefore the Lord put him to death, and turned the kingdom over to David, son of Jesse. 1 Chronicles chapter 11. Then all Israel gathered together to David at Hebron, and said, "See, we are your bone and flesh. For some time now, even while Saul was king, it was you who commanded the army of Israel. The Lord your God said to you, 'It is you who shall be shepherd of my people Israel. You shall be ruler over my people Israel.' So all the elders of Israel came to the king at Hebron, And David made a covenant with them at Hebron before the Lord. And they anointed David king over Israel, according to the word of the Lord by Samuel. David and all Israel marched to Jerusalem, that is Jebus, where the Jebusites were, the inhabitants of the land. The inhabitants of Jebus said to David, "You will not come in here." Nevertheless, David took the stronghold of Zion, now the city of David. David had said, "Whoever attacks the Jebusites first shall be chief and commander." And Joab, son of Zeruiah, went up first, so he became chief. David resided in the stronghold. Therefore it was called the city of David. He built the city all around, from the Millo in complete circuit. And Joab repaired the rest of the city. And David became greater and greater, for the Lord of hosts was with him. Now these are the chiefs of David's warriors, who gave him strong support in his kingdom, together with all Israel, to make him king, according to the word of the Lord concerning Israel. This is an account of David's mighty warriors. Jashobeam, son of Hachmoni, was chief of the 3. He wielded his spear against 300 whom he killed at one time. And next to him among the 3 warriors was Eleazar, son of Dodo, the Ahohite. He was with David at Pasdammim, when the Philistines were gathered there for battle. There was a plot of ground full of barley. Now the people had fled from the Philistines, but he and David took their stand in the middle of the plot, defended it, and killed the Philistines, and the Lord saved them by a great victory. 3 of the 30 chiefs went down to the rock to David at the cave of Adullam, while the army of the Philistines was encamped in the valley of Rephaim. David was then in the stronghold, and the garrison of the Philistines was then at Bethlehem. David said longingly, "Oh, that someone would give me water to drink from the well of Bethlehem that is by the gate." Then the 3 broke through the camp of the Philistines and drew water from the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and they brought it to David. But David would not drink of it. He poured it out to the Lord and said, "My God forbid that I should do this. Can I drink the blood of these men? For at the risk of their lives they brought it." Therefore he would not drink it. The 3 warriors did these things. Now Abishai, the brother of Joab, was chief of the 30. With his spear he fought against 300 and killed them, and won a name beside the 3. He was the most renowned of the 30, and became their commander, but he did not attain to the 3. Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, was a valiant man of Kabzeel, a doer of great deeds. He struck down 2 sons of Ariel of Moab. He also went down and killed a lion in a pit on a day when snow had fallen. And he killed an Egyptian, a man of great stature, 5 cubits tall. The Egyptian had in his hand a spear like a weaver's beam, but Benaiah went against him with a staff, snatched the spear out of the Egyptian's hand, and killed him with his own spear. Such were the things Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, did, and he won a name beside the 3 warriors. He was renowned among the 30, but he did not attain to the 3. And David put him in charge of his bodyguard. The warriors of the armies were Asahel, brother of Joab, Elhanan, son of Dodo of Bethlehem, Shemoth of Harod, Helez the Pelonite, Ira, son of Ikesh of Tekoa, Abiezer of Anathoth, Sibbecai the Hushathite, Eli the Ahohite, Maharai of Netophah, Heled, son of Baanah of Netophah, Ithai, son of Ribai of Gibeah of the Benjaminites, Benaiah of Pirathon, Hurai of the Wadis of Gash, Abiel the Arbathite, Asmaveth of Baharum, Eliabah of Shalbon, Hashem the Gizonite, Jonathan son of Shagi the Hararite, Ahiam son of Sakar the Hararite, Eliphal son of Hefer the Macherathite, Ahijah the Pelonite, Hezro of Carmel, Nehuri son of Ezbai, Joel the brother of Nathan, Mibhar son of Hagri, Zelek the Ammonite, Neharai of Beeroth, the armor-bearer of Joab son of Zeruiah, Ira the Ithrite, Gareb the Ithrite, Uriah the Hittite, Zabad son of Eli, Adina son of Shiza the Reubenite, a leader of the Reubenites, and 30 with him, Hanan son of Micah, and Joshaphat the Mithnite, Uzziah the Ashtorethite, Shammah and Jeiel sons of Hotham the Ararite, Jediel son of Shimri, and his brother Joha the Tizite, Eliel the Mahavite, and Jerubai and Joshaviah sons of Elnaim, and Ithma the Moabite, Eliel and Obed and Jasiel the Mezabite,